Welcome back. With us live over the phone now is Dr. Yousria Hamed. She is manager of the Egyptian-Italian Environmental Cooperation Project. Good morning, Dr. Yousria.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Of course, talking about the 42nd anniversary marking Sinai Liberation Day, of course, this is a very dear part of our hearts that we gained with our blood and tears. Talk to us about the Sinai development and how is it a matter of national pride, national security, and national integrity when it comes to Sinai and development inside Sinai?
Well, it is always a pleasure to talk about Sinai and to celebrate the Liberation Day with you. Sinai is a sincere part of Egypt to my heart, to be honest, because in Sinai I started to work as a park ranger within the protected areas of Sinai. And I was coordinator between the protected areas and the local communities over there. And we did several programs that now some of them became projects, independent projects run by the local community. So these projects started as programs within the Bedouin support program of the protected area. In fact, I left Sinai, working in Sinai, basically several years ago, because now I'm involved with other different parts like the Red Sea and Western Desert. But I can tell you about the project that we started in Sinai, especially in San Catherine protected areas. We worked with the local communities to develop their heritage and traditions and turn it into a program and project that support their livelihood. One of which is the handicrafts for women that now involves more than 500 women working in this project, and they produce very, very unique pieces that is sold in Egypt and overseas as well. But another unique project that identified them is the medicinal plants project that started also as part of the project that supports the protected areas under the supervision of the Egyptian Environmental Affairs Agency and the Environment. So Sinai, especially the San Catherine area, this is a mountainous area. It's famous for medicinal plants. They have more than 115 medicinal plants. So the project worked on drying these medicinal plants as part of their tradition that they used to dry all different kinds of food when you used to live the mobile lifestyle. So what they did, they developed this medicinal plant, and they are now selling it through the Medicinal Plant Association. So it also became an independent project. Other project that we started over there is an ecology, where people go and rest in the mountains, spend their vacation. At the same time, they experience the whole experience of the Bedouin lifestyle. So they eat traditional food, maybe they wear the traditional costume. So they live the whole experience of the Bedouin lifestyle. So this is what started with them. But right now, I'm developing community-based natural resource management scheme for the Bedouin communities in different districts. As I said in the beginning, on the Red Sea and on the Western Desert. The CBNRM schemes enable the communities to co-manage the natural resources with the management of the protected areas. And we started also in Sinai, in San Catherine, and it was built around the medicinal plant in Sinai. Well, now the schemes that we're developing is built around ecotourism. So we build different ecotourism destinations and we enable the community to work on them. And the co-management, where they work side by side with the protected areas to survey and manage the natural resources. So recently, we surveyed the main species on the Red Sea, like the acacia trees, the mangrove trees, and other species such as the dugong and the sea turtle and the city falcon as well. So they supported to survey these species based on their traditional knowledge. I think that's all from my side. Thank you.
Right. From your own perspective, what are the measures required to be able to turn Sinai into a total new industrial, cultural, educational hub?
Right. Okay. The key word is culture. Actually, what I do through my work, I search on the tradition and the heritage of the community, and I see what identifies this culture. Then I start to build on it. So, as you mentioned, education in Sinai. In the area of St. Catherine especially, I developed an environmental education program that is based on the traditional heritage of the local community. And this program worked very well because it was derived from their own culture and own tradition. And I involved some of the elders of the local community in the program, and it was very, very successful. I tried to implement it elsewhere as well in areas that are similar to us, and especially similar to Sinai, such as Jordan and Saudi Arabia. And they adopted the same idea of teaching children their traditional culture, to teach them on environment based on the tradition. And so what we do, we see the culture, what is unique about their culture, and build on it. That, like the ecology that was built in St. Catherine, it was very successful because it is run by the local communities themselves and use their traditional technique of building, constructing the ecology itself, and the tradition and culture where they run the ecology. So from my perspective, we should dig more on searching on the traditional knowledge and heritage, and we'll find loads of ideas that support Sinai and its community.
Right. So how do you evaluate the government's efforts in its plight of developing Sinai, in provision of water resources in Sinai, in all those sectors?
Yeah, of course, we really appreciate what the government is doing in Sinai and all over Egypt, of course. And we value their efforts, and we do our best to support the government. I mean, we are supporting the Ministry of Environment, Egyptian-Italian project. And by the way, the Italian project is run by the United Nations Development Program, but under the supervision of Egyptian Environment Affairs Agency and the Ministry of Environment. So we work side by side with them, and we appreciate all the effort that they are doing to support the Egyptian people and enhance their livelihood.
Right. So how do you assess the efforts, or how do you view the youth in Sinai and their activities, their aspirations? How do you assess them? Have you been in contact with youth in Sinai? How do you assess the progress of youth in Sinai?
Well, in fact, as I told you, I have not been working in Sinai within the last 10 years, but I'm in touch with them personally. But I didn't go actually to St. Catherine or to Sinai, but perhaps very recently we'll have a project over there, so we would be able to assess, but I cannot judge on a personal level. However, what we see on the TV on the effort that is done over there, for the youth and especially women, I'm very proud of it. I mean, yesterday I was in a conference for women empowerment, and it was actually very inspiring to see what the government is doing, and the people themselves, they really appreciate what the government and especially President Sisi is doing in supporting the women empowerment.
Right. So different ministries are investing already in the area. Would you shed more light over the investment projects injected there and the developmental plan that is being implemented?
Well, right now I cannot speak on this because I'm working in different areas. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question because right now I'm not working in Sinai.
Right, but generally speaking, as we are speaking right now, we already know from the media and following up over the governmental projects, the different ministerial projects were implemented and ministerial decisions were taken to implement projects concerning or targeting educational plans, developmental plans there, universities built in Sinai, also industries, different industries, like you said, handicrafts and tourism industry is taken also inside Sinai, youth activities and youth projects to empower and enforce labor force also inside Sinai, providing job opportunities for women, also small businesses. These are all...
Yeah, of course. This is what I said. I mean, what we see on the media make us so proud of all the efforts that has been done. But what I'm saying that I cannot speak about specific projects because I'm not working over there right now. I'm working on the Red Sea and the Western Desert. And they right now are doing lots of activities.
Right. Talking about the Red Sea and the charm of the Red Sea, probably we as Egyptians know well, and people who have visited Egypt know the charm of this particular place in Egypt. Sinai also have beaches, even much more magical than the Red Sea. But probably not everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, Sinai is very famous in the media. I mean, Ras Muhammad National Park and other areas. Perhaps you are honest because some areas like Nab, Abu Galoum, they are very pure and the nature there is amazing. So in the Ministry of Environment, we have Eco Egypt campaign where they promote all the protected areas and all the natural areas in Egypt. So this is one of the efforts that one of the great efforts actually that the Ministry of Environment is doing, the Eco Egypt campaign that promotes the natural areas and encourages people to go and visit different districts in Egypt, not only Sinai, but all over Egypt. Like for example, Marsa Alam. Marsa Alam is one of the areas that people do not know well, but it is well known internationally. So what Eco Egypt is doing is to promote all these natural areas and encourage people to visit and invest over there.
Right, you raised a very important point, which is the ecotourism, which is a very rich source. It has a very rich source in Sinai, actually, and parts of Egypt like Sinai. So what are the government's opportunities and chances to be able to promote for this type of tourism and revive it once again in places like Sinai and similar places?
Well, to be honest, different places in Sinai, like Sharm el-Sheikh, is overdeveloped. However, because its uniqueness, tourists come from all over the world to visit it. But to highlight areas like Nab, Abu Galoum, Dahab, all these areas need to be really highlighted in the media for Egyptians to visit and to promote it internationally as well.
Right. So talking about providing job opportunities and empowering the labor force in Egypt, do you think the people from the Nile Valley can be able to move and settle and work in Sinai now, or we still have more time to be
No,
able to?
of course. No, of course we can. Of course we can, and they are already there because as we were talking about ecotourism and tourism sector, it absorbs many youth from the Delta and from all over Egypt. So people like to enhance their livelihood, and you cannot enhance your livelihood while you are sitting at home. You should move and go to different places. I went to Sinai in the 1990s and early 20s. I was so happy. I was really enjoying my job. My job is like my hobby. I was there in the natural area, enjoying it, doing my job within the protected area. But this was really very enjoyable part of my life. I was young. I was climbing a mountain, walking in the desert. Very enjoyable. So you can do your work over there and you can enjoy it. And of course, the salary is over there because you moved from the crowd, Cairo and Alexandria, from Alexandria, to natural areas. So I would encourage every youth, all the youth in Egypt to move and go to new areas like Sinai, the Red Sea, the Western Desert. Desert is very calm. It's very calm and nice, and you can learn a lot. People would say, this is just sand and mountain, what we learn from this. No, I built my career around Sinai. From learning from the school of St. Catherine. I call it the school of St. Catherine.
So the measures and the tools probably taken by the government to be able to adopt and encourage the foreign investors. I mean, talking about foreign investment generally in Sinai. Are there good chances and promising chances for foreign investment inside Sinai? And how could the government be able to effect plans to inject projects now?
Of course, these areas are very and it's not challenging as well, actually, because you do projects in Cairo and in these large cities, very challenging. But in Sinai, it's very promising, very unique, and it attracts many investors, foreign investors. I know different companies that work in tourism in Sinai and in the Red Sea. And like I said before, they are enjoying their business over there.
Over there, yes. So how far would develop Sinai boost the country's economy from your own point of view? I mean, as we are speaking now, we have been speaking about different opportunities inside Sinai, different promising chances and everything. So how can all this privileges or opportunities inside Sinai turn into one of the most important and enforcing venues for the national income?
I think it is one of the important national venue for the country right now, and I think the government is doing lots of efforts to develop it more. I mean, all these roads that constructed from Cairo to Sinai and the Red Sea, they will encourage the investors to come. I mean, the government is building roads. They provide facilities for this area, so they don't just ask you to go and invest there, but they provide you facilities. And constructing new roads, actually, from my perspective, I think it was one of the most successful achievements that have been done. I mean, I used to go to Sinai in more than 8 hours by car, driving by car. Now I go in five hours. Within 5 hours, I'm Sharm el-Sheikh. So this is one of the things I mean, one of the ideas that come to my mind now that could help encourage investors to come, facilities, roads, things like that.
Right. What distinguishes places like Sinai even more than Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada and places like that is that it has a different type of life there, lifestyle.
Well, Sharm el-Sheikh is part of Sinai. Sharm el-Sheikh is the main part
Exactly,
of Sinai.
but Sinai
Yeah.
in its own right is totally different. I mean, in the sense of the, it's a more natural life. I mean, Sharm el-Sheikh
Yeah.
is a little bit more modern. The nomadic
Yes.
life, the Bedouin
Yes.
culture. If you
Yeah.
could brief us real quick over this privilege in Sinai.
Mm. Sorry, I didn't hear you well. Your last sentence, I didn't hear.
I mean, no, I mean, talking about the Bedouin lifestyle and nomadic style of life inside Sinai, the culture there.
Yeah, yeah. This one needs to really be highlighted more. I mean, even Eco Egypt campaign, they are doing people of our country. And what they do, they highlight the culture and tradition of the local communities. We built visitor centers in Sinai that explain about biodiversity, but at the same time explain the tradition of the local community, how they deal with the natural environment. So this is what needs to be highlighted more in the media, the tradition of the Bedouin communities, their interaction of the environment. We consider the local communities with their traditional culture are conservationists by nature.
Right.
So this really needs to be highlighted and to be more integrated on the businesses that is run right now. I mean, some of the companies, they have social responsibilities and they do involve the local communities in their activities, but others not. And other companies, they don't understand the Bedouins and their culture, and they prevent them of working with them. So these people need to learn more about the culture and tradition, and they know that they will benefit more and they will add value to their business if they involve the local community and use their culture in their business, like others are doing, and we have very, very successful models right now that we are cooperating with on the retreat.
Right. On that note, of course, Dr. Yousria Hamed, you are a manager of the Egyptian-Italian Environmental Cooperation Project. Would like to thank you so much talking to the breakfast show, and you have a beautiful day. And we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.